Hello and welcome to the Sunday Guardian show by Joyeeta Basu. We are going to talk about the UK elections where the results showed that Rishi Sunak's Conservative Party was handed a drubbing by Keir Starmer's Labour. Now it was quite a devastating defeat with several of Sunak's ministers losing. Even former British Prime Minister Liz Truss could not retain her seat. Sunak himself managed to retain his constituency but will have to resign from the leadership of the Conservative Party. The Conservatives, or the Tories as they are popularly known, are calling the performance an electoral Armageddon. Apparently, this is their worst performance in almost 200 years. Ironically, Sunak, who was made the Prime Minister in October 2022 by his party, did some good work with the British economy, because of which it came out of recession earlier this year and posted a minor growth rate of 0.6%, which is highest among the G7 countries, by the way. But then he fell victim to the general anti-incumbency against the Tories, who have been in power since 2010. Now, in these 14 years, the last 5 years have been particularly messy and disastrous, with 3 Prime Ministers, Boris Johnson, Liz Truss and then Rishi Sunak. There was too much drama plus very bad policy. It is being said Boris Johnson and Truss pushed Britain to the brink by their inability to handle the economic fallout of COVID and the Ukraine-Russia war. In fact, Johnson was one of the cheerleaders of the war and did not allow Ukraine to strike peace with Russia, even though a large section of the population he governed, meaning the British population, became collateral damage. Now they were pushed towards penury, with some of them even not managing to get 3 square meals a day. No wonder the Conservative vote got divided among the Tories, the Liberal Democrats and the Reform Party of Nigel Farage, giving them a drubbing in the elections. Now with the Labour returning to power, the question uppermost on the minds of Indian origin Hindus in Britain is what Keir Starmer as Prime Minister will mean for them as well as for India. In fact, that is what even we are wondering. Now, this has to be seen in the context of Jeremy Corbyn, who led the Labour Party from 2015 to 2020. He was not seen as pro-Hindu, primarily because he was heavily dependent on the vote banks of Pakistani and Bangladeshi Muslims that are both anti-India and anti-Hindu. In fact, Corbyn was extreme left, was openly hostile to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and had made self-determination for Kashmiris one of his political platforms. Now, under him, Labour had taken a stand against the revocation of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir. But then he lost the 2019 general election to Boris Johnson. Now the issue now is, given Labour's proximity to the Pakistani and Bangladeshis, how will that affect a Labour Prime Minister's relationship with India? Now this has to be seen in the context of something very interesting that has taken place in the election. Now this time, the Labour's captive Muslim vote bank has been badly dented, which has affected them in a few seats. But why? It's because of Keir Starmer's pro-Israel stand. Starmer had said last year that Israel was right to stop water and power to the Palestinians in Gaza. Starmer is against the Hamas. In fact, Starmer's wife Victoria is Jewish. But losing the vote, Muslim vote, did not have much impact on the Labour's tally as the Tory vote got divided. The question now is, what will Starmer do to win back the pro-Gaza Muslim vote that he has lost, and if that in any way will impact his policy towards Hindus and India? Now, don't forget that Hinduphobia in Britain is a reality. Remember the anti-Khalistan and the Khalistani protests and the Pakistani protests against the Indian High Commission on 15th of August, or the Leicester violence? Now, one good thing is, while campaigning for the election, Starmer was quoting the Hindus assiduously. Recently, he visited the Swaminarayan temple. He has been saying for years that there is no place for Hinduphobia in Britain. During campaigning, he told the Hindu community that if we are elected next week, we will strive to govern in the spirit of seva, to serve you and a world in need. Strengthened by Hindu values, you are not only contributing massively to our economy, you are bringing innovation and expertise that keep us competitive on the global market. I think this is a very positive assertion. Importantly, after Jeremy Corbyn derailed Labour's relationship with India, Starmer, when he took charge, made it clear that India would be a priority area for him. He said that he considered India to be a strategic partner. In fact, recently, a Labour shadow minister, Annalise Dodds, said that going beyond warm words, we want to build that practical, strong relationship. Labour has talked a lot about strategic partnership with India that covers trade, but we want to see cooperation in other areas like new technologies, environment, security. But then, lest we forget, there are several anti-India elements in the Labour Party. Although the Labour is now saying that it has cleansed itself of such elements. That's encouraging, if true. So now let's see what the future holds. Thank you for watching. Until the next time.